Time in YouTube, and welcome back to another deck profile. Today we are going to be trying up a deck that was actually gifted to us from a friend of mine named Gavin Lee. Link to his Twitter will be in the description below, so you guys can easily check him out. But this is going to be for a Gumshoos Fairy Box deck. And this was actually a perfect time for me to get a deck listing from you guys, because I actually have gotten into a few things. A lot of friends of mine are having kids, so I have to go see all these additional people, so it's nice to have a deck that I didn't actually have to spend time and build. But that also means that I may not be able to play this deck properly, so keep that in mind here, but we are going to go over it the best I can. So here we go, starting with Gumshoos-GX, 210 HP, colorless Pokemon, stage 1. Going from that good old young goose, has the ability search the premises. Once during your turn, you may have your opponent reveal their hands. This is amazing because it kind of lets you see what your opponent's going to do before they get a chance to do it. Or maybe if what they're planning kind of thing, like you can see maybe it's a good idea to end, maybe it's not. Maybe this is the perfect way to leave your opponent. So the ability does come in clutch a little bit. It's not the best ability, but it's something. You have Headbutt Bounce for 3 colorless energies, can do 100 damage. At least you have something nice and flat. His damage output is not the best though. But what is really cool is Gumshoos-GX. 1 colorless energy is all going to cost you, but you're going to do 10 damage. This attack does 50 damage times the number of energies attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So if they've got 3 energies on there, that's 160 damage. Boom! Another headbutt bounce and they're gone. Or, picture this. They've got a good old Mewtwo EX on the field, thinking they're in a good position. Bam! Now comes the Gumshoos, and bam goes the Mewtwo, because they needed a lot more energy than they thought they did. So either way, Gumshoos-GX's attack is pretty good, but overall it's just an okay GX. I would not call this thing amazing by any standpoint of the word. Now, we're going to see the little partners we have. We're going to start off with Lugia, because it's the only EX in the deck. Lugia EX, 170 HP, colorless Pokemon, basic, with Arrow Ball, 2 colorless energy. It's going to do 20 times the amount of energy between both Lugia and its opponent. So, similar to Gumshoos-GX's attack, but not only do you get to count Lugia's energies, but you also get to count your opponents as well. You also have Deep Hurricane, 4 colorless energy, 80 damage. If there's a stadium in play, this attack does 70 more damage. However, you do have to discard that stadium, whether it benefits you or not. So Lugia EX has already proven that it is a fantastic card. Next up, we have 2 Oranguru, 120 HP, colorless type Pokemon. This is to kind of counteract the Shaman usage. This is more of a budget-friendly little deck, so if you guys don't want to run Shaman, use this guy. He's nice. He's a monkey. He's pretty. His ability is Instruct. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in hand. I can guarantee you in most decks, especially nowadays, you're going to run out of cards. So having that nice ability to kind of not run out is very nice, but please keep in mind that Garbodors are still popular and will make you a very tasty monkey for dessert, because garbage just likes to ruin the rainforest, I think. He also has the attack Psychic for 3 colorless energy. It's going to do 60 damage. This attack does 20 more damage times the number of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So again, we have a little bit of that nice scaling effect, but it's really not going to be an overall attacker. We don't want to use Oranguru if we really don't have to. One of our biggest attackers, though, is going to be Taurus Gx. If you guys happen to have missed our Taurus Gx deck that came out on Thursday, you guys already know that Taurus is a pretty mean beast. It's got 180 HP, colorless Pokemon basic, has Rage for 2 colorless energy, 20 damage, plus 10 more for each damage counter on Taurus. You also have Horn Attack, 2 colorless energy. It's going to do a flat 60. This is the best attack to go for the start, and once Taurus starts racking in some damage, Rage just builds up and bam! But you can also go for Mad Bull GX depending on your situation. Remember, you are only given 1 GX attack per game, so this is between Taurus or Gumshoos. Depends on which one you want to use. You can't just get one for each. It's one period. Mad Bull GX, 2 colorless energy. It's going to do 30 times the amount of damage counters on Taurus. So if you've already taken 100 damage, you are going to be dealing 300 damage to something. That's insane. Either way, Taurus GX, we're going to move on, because we've already looked over you. You are a beautiful, beautiful card. But those are the only Pokemon in the lineup, so all colorless, all pretty, cool. Starting our item lineup, we do have the escape rope. Each player switches his or her active with one of their own benched. So this kind of gets you out of a predicament. It gets them into a predicament where they may not want to have the active Pokemon switched. Escape rope is very, very nice. We're running 2 max elixirs for the basics. Considering we only have one evolution being Gumshoos, you're going to be wanting to put those energies on Lugia or Tauros. So it's nice to have that opportunity anyway. Next up, we have the Nest Ball. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench. Beautiful. We can search for Lugia, we can search for Taurus, we can search for Yungoos. If we have to, we can search for an Oranguru. Very, very nice. We've got the Super Rod. Shuffle 3 in any combination of Pokemon and energies from your discard pile back into your deck. Pretty stranded? Straightforward. I don't know what I'm talking about. Late at night, leave me alone. We have a switch. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched. So a lot of switching action, just to be careful, because there is a lot of energy retreats. We have 2 on Gumshoos. I believe it's 3 on Tauros. 2 on Oranguru. I think Lugia is 2. Next up is the town map. It's always nice to have those prizes revealed. Make sure you pick the right decisions when you do get prizes, and you're not really stuck in case something does go wrong. Next up are 3 trainers' mails. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal them, or not reveal them. You may reveal a trainer card from there, and if you do, you can put it in your hand, but it cannot be a fellow trainer's mail. Shuffle obviously after. Fantastic way to siphon through your deck. Next up is the Golden Ball itself, the Ultra Ball, and a friend of mine might be hooking me up with one of the full art, so I'm really excited here. Either way, Ultra Ball, you get to discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, you can search for whatever Pokemon you want in your deck. Ultra Balls have been a staple in most decks, so if you guys aren't running them, you might want to consider it. We're running 4 Via Seekers. Put a supporter card from your discard pile back into your hand. This is beautiful to help out. Get like your Lysanders, your Ends if you're really in a pinch. You can get your Pokemon Center Ladies or your anything that you might not need at that given time. Throw it in the discard pile. Via Seeker will be able to call it back when you do need it. Next up is our retreat cost. It wouldn't be a fairy box without it. Now, I'm going to say this now. I have not altered the deck one bit from what Gavin Lee gave me. There are a few things that immediately strike at me as I need to change this. But, that being said, I wanted to go full horse right into it. He is a good deck builder, and I want to believe that my friend has built a fantastic deck under budget circumstances, of course. He is only running 2 Fairy Garden. Each Pokemon that has any fairy energy attached to it has no retreat cost. So that reduces the retreat cost of any of our good old colorless Pokemon with the use of our fairy energy. With that being said, you do have a lot of other switch options, so that you still have that as well. We're going to be showcasing the new Lily card in this deck. Draw cards until you have 6 in your hand, so it's literally a shaman. However, if it is your first turn, draw cards until you have 8 in your hand instead. So it's a good supporter turn 1, but that's why we're only running 1 copy of it. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be a worthy supporter because you're not shuffling cards back in. You are stuck with the cards you have. It is literally a shaman supporter. But that usually could potentially mean that we will not be seeing Shaman once Roaring Skies does rotate out, which is, in all instances of the word, good, because it may slow down the decks a little bit. Next up, we do have the Lysander. Switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon with one of their active. Straightforward card, very essential for most decks. And again, you have the opportunity, if you guys are building this deck at home, run maybe 1 or 2, whatever you feel most comfortable with. We are running 1 for this deck. Next up is N. We have 3 of them in this deck. Each player shuffles his or her hand back into their deck and draws cards equal to the amount of prizes remaining. This card is still an influential card in this format because, you know what? You can set your opponent up for a bad hand, you can set them up for a lot of cards, or you can set yourself up for a lot of cards, or little cards, depending on your situation. And it's such a good card that it'll be here until it rotates out. I guarantee it. Next up is Ninja Boy, which is a very interesting card, and I can say this now, it does work very, very well, especially if you're setting up for it. I did do a few test games with this, just to make sure it wasn't like a whole janky deck, and Ninja Boy can get you out of a very bad situation. So what Ninja Boy actually does is you get to choose a basic Pokemon in play, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, and switch it with that Pokemon. All cards that are currently attached, including damage counters and special conditions, are applied to the new Pokemon. So it's literally like you're just switching out what's already there. So if you want to knock out your Pokemon from your deck to switch something in, you can do that by all means. It may not be the most bright idea, but it could come in handy. But Ninja Boy for me can sometimes get me into a free turn into a evolving Gumshoos. Like, there's no summoning sickness if you guys have ever played MTG. In the terms of, so for example, I have a Taurus out, he's had his first turn, he's done his little bit of damage, I drop another energy on it, now I can play my Ninja Boy, switch it into Yungoos, and I can evolve into Gumshoos right then and there, because technically speaking, the Yungoos has lived for a turn on the field. Anyway, I like Ninja Boy, it can come in handy, very clutch. Next up we have the Pokemon Center Lady, heal 60 damage from, and all special conditions from... Yes, and all special conditions from one of your Pokemon. For some reason, I was reading that, it was like 1. I'm like, I don't remember that. But either way, we have Professor Kukui. Draw 2 cards during this turn. Your Pokemon's attacks do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Very, very situational, but very, very good. I don't know how many times I've been missing, like, that much damage for knocking out. And Kukui comes in, it's like, yeah, I'm taking you out. Either way. Kukui's good. I like it. Next up is the good old Professor Sycamore himself. Discard your hand, draw 7 cards. Very, very it's a staple in every deck. Come on, let's be honest here. We are only running 3 in this deck, so keep that in mind. We have a Team Skull Grunt. This pairs very well with Gumshoos, and we're going to be trying... I'll probably bring Gumshoos back a little later on, too. There's another deck with Serena and Gumshoos, so... keep in mind, I'll probably be bringing in the GXs back for a few decks once I've kind of rotated through them. But Team Skull Grunts is a very good supporter with Gumshoos, as once you've revealed their hand, you can choose to use Team Skull Grunt, because your opponent reveals their hand again, but you get to discard 2 energy cards from it. Why use the supporter if you don't guarantee removal? So with Gumshoos, you get to reveal their hand, and you know that there's going to be energy there. Let's get rid of it. You could land 2 double colorless energies that are in their hand, and they're gone. They could have, you know, done some sort of cool Brock script move where they got the energies back and all that kind of stuff, and now, bam! Team Skull Grunt is coming through, and you got rid of them again. Beautiful card. Very, very situational, though. We are running the Bursting Balloon. If the Pokemon this card is attached to gets hit by your opponent's active Pokemon, they're going to be taking 60 damage. The active Pokemon on their side is going to be taking 60 damage. However, this Bursting Balloon only lasts you 1 turn, so it will be discarded by the time your turn returns. Next up is 1 Floatstone, just in case, you know, Fairy Retreat and switches and escape ropes isn't enough. We do have 1 Floatstone just in case something comes up. This is usually going to be on your Orangurus because really we don't want to attack with them. They're there for the draw support. So hopefully we can keep that at bay there. And then lastly, we've got 4 double colorless energy and 8 fairy energy. Now, like I said, guys, I have done some testing. This deck has some pretty cool text behind it, but it has some lacking things as well as I've seen. But I want to showcase it to you in 2 fantastic matches right now on Pokemon TCG Online. And our first match of the day is against Tommy Oblivion, playing Psychic Water. I'm not really sure what my opponent's playing. I'm not gonna lie. Don't know. I don't know what my opponent's playing, but we're gonna be able to call this game, and we're probably gonna go first here. We have no real reason not to. As much as Tauros is in our deck, we don't want to run it perfectly, but we do not have any basic Pokemon in our opening hand, so we are going to have to restart this hand, giving our opponent an additional card because of it. Now, if I can get an N and end that away, that'll be great, but I'm unfortunately going to... I got the N, but I didn't get a basic Pokemon. I did not get a basic. I am going to have an Oranguru start. Well, again, this is really good because we do have the Ninja Boy in our hand. So I don't have to do anything else. And I can easily start setting up for Gumshoos, which is good. I can kind of make it look like we're going for the Oranguru, but really we've got the Ninja Boy in back. Now this is all going to be destroyed if my opponent does play the N. So gotta keep that in mind. Ninja Boy is not good. We're playing against Mewtwo's here. And you know what? I'm going to turn 1 Team Skull Grunt. I'm going to drop a double colorless energy, and we're going to go for a Team Skull Grunt. My opponent has no energy. That is a huge bummer, but we did get to see their hand. That is all I can do. I don't have any supporters that can really get me into anything. I can't really end into anything. We do see the Mewtwo Spirit Link. I don't know what I'm rambling on about. We do see the Mewtwo Spirit Link land on the Mewtwo EX. And that is unfortunately it for my opponent. So we are going to get a second energy here. But we can't do any additional damage due to the fact that there is no energy on this Mewtwo. So I'm actually just going to Ninja Boy. We're going to get my Yungoos. And we're going to evolve into Gumshoos. Bam! I can reveal their hand. We see the float stones. We see nothing really that they can use. So we're going to go for a nice headbutt and bounce. Because it's not ready for the Gumshoe chance. But we are 1 turn away from taking out the first Mewtwo, which is good. We are going to see the Mega, so we are now a little further away from taking him out, unfortunately. Unless we can pull a Kukui. That would actually be the perfect time right now, is to pull Kukui, because we have nothing. I mean, like, we have nothing. We are going to see our opponent is going to start to try and get that Remoraid combo up. Instead of using Shaman, they're using Octillery, which is a very good card, especially in Mewtwo, because you really don't want that weak EX in the back. We're going to see the Floatstone land on the Remoraid. We are going to have absolutely nothing that we can play, so we are just going to go for another Headbutt Bounce. That's it. We are literally 1 energy away, or 10 damage away from taking this thing out, but literally speaking, if they pull a double colorless energy, we're in trouble. Because that'll be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So they do get an energy, but it's going to go down to the Mewtwo in the back, which is a good play. I have nothing I want to play, and I'm going to get rid of this Mewtwo EX. That is a very good start for us. Not counting it too much, though. We're going to hit Trainer's Mail and a Taurus Gx. So if I can get that Taurus Gx on the field, that would be really good. My opponent is putting up the Remoraid. Now, this does have the Float Stone, so he can retreat it into the Mewtwo depending on the situations he's getting. If he gets the energy, everything that he needs, he can do that. He can switch it, no problem. Because he is opting to get rid of the Remoraid, and I do not want to end. I'm in a very good position where I really don't need to. I'm going to drop a double colorless energy down. I can actually just opt to go for a... I might actually just opt to go for the Sycamore, because I don't need anything in my hand. We're going to go for the Sycamore. And all those good supporters are just going to be nicely done for our future turns. I can go for an Oranguru now with the Nest Ball. There we go. We have an Ultra Ball in case I really need it, but I'm not going to play the Young Goose. I don't really need to worry myself with it. I'm thinking of the escape rope, but I can't play the fairy energy. And I don't have fairy garden down anyway. I would have probably played a few more fairy gardens in this deck, just that way I'd had an opportunity to get it more often. We're going for the headbutt bounce. We're going to take out the Remoraid. So unfortunately his floatstone and his card draw is going to be negated a little bit here, which is good, because my opponent only has the Mewtwo left, and I can't knock it out, but we're in a good position where we can do some damage. I could have actually switched into the Tauros and gotten some damage on the Mewtwo. I don't know. A really hard decision there. My opponent is getting the Lysander, but I have the opportunity to go for the escape rope. 5. We are going to be just shy of knocking this guy out. We are going to be just shy of knocking this guy out. We're going to go for an escape rope here, which is great because we can just go right back out into my Gumshoos. And I believe that might be game. Like, pretty darn close, but I haven't got a Kukui. That's what I need right now is the Kukui. I'm going to save my Gumshoe chance because I can't knock him out anyway. It's 5, 10, 15. It's 160 damage, I'm 10 shy. So I'm going to go for the headbutt because in the case of something going on, I actually shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. He goes for a Hoopa, he's going to get his Mewtwo now. He's in a very good position now because he does have the Mewtwo, Mega Mewtwo he can get. Now, he doesn't have a Spirit Link, I don't believe. But he goes for 2 Mega Mewtwo's. But I did leave myself Gumshoe chance for this reason. He's going to go for a Floatstone. I did get rid of a Lysander, did I not? No, I did not. No, I did not. He's going to evolve there. And we are going to get a Nest Ball. The problem here is we have no real search engine. Unless I'm playing this wrong. I'm going to get that Lugia out of the deck. Don't want it in there if I don't have to. I have no Lysander, nothing like that right now. What do you have in your hand? We have a Via Seeker, Turbo, and a Mewtwo. You see, I really like this with the Linquin. I am glad I did not use my GX move, though, because I can still Tauros Rage later. But we're going to get 100 damage off. My opponent has had a very bad time. Just primarily with draw lately. Now again, we're not doing too well either, but my opponent did get something may help him right now, based on that emoji. Based on that emoji, I think my opponent just got a lucky win here. Via Seeker into the Lysander. We might be in trouble. Now, I'm in good position in the sense of we're going to see the Lysander into the Lugia. That's okay. I can easily just double color this out. Which is actually what I'm going to do, because I don't actually need you to stay in. We are going to retreat into my Gumshoos. I can go for the Max Elixir, get a Fairy Energy onto my Lugia. If I ever do manage to pull a Fairy Garden. And I don't need to go for the Kukui this turn. I can save that for the following turn. Do I have anything in here that I can even use my Super Rod for? Just a Fairy Energy, not really worthwhile. I'm just going to go for the knockout here. Headbutt Bounce is going to knock out this Hoopa EX. That's going to be a little confusing for a while there's both of them in the play. We're going to get a VS Seeker and a Young Goose, and it's just the Mewtwo up 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. You need another energy to knock me out. And that's the energy. Uh, 250, he's going to knock it out. Now, if I had gone for my GX attack prior to this, I could have knocked him out right now. That is my bad play. Hold on. Yeah, I need an energy. Can I retreat? No. I'm in a bad position, and I'm trying to figure this one out, because all I need is one energy, and I can get my good old Lugia to kind of come in and take it out, because it's 20, 40, 60, 80, 120. I can knock this thing out. I just need an energy. So let's go for the retreat, good old Sycamore. And we're going to just cripple my hand right now by getting rid of everything. Well, actually, I can Ultra Ball. I can put these two back in the deck. And we can grab myself another Tauros, I guess. And drop it down. Just this way, again, we don't draw it. That is the main thing right now. I can go for a Super Rod. I can put I can put 2 Young Goose and the Gumshoos back into the deck. And we can go for a Sycamore here. Hopefully pulling an energy for Lugia, which we did. And I got a Float Stone, which is exactly what we needed. This is going to be game right here, guys. I know it's been a weird first game, but we took on Mewtwo, we did everything we needed to do, and I'm pretty sure we just pulled off a win. Now, keep in mind that my opponent did have a really bad start having no energy, but we would have been able to take that energy out anyway, since we did have the Team Skull Grunt. He just had no supporters, and quite frankly, neither did we at the start. But that is our first matchup. If we can pull off something cool in the second one, that's what I'm hoping for. But so far, Gumshoos is actually pulling through. Kind of pretty hyped with this deck. It's a very fun little deck, with its flaws. Like, I think there's still a few supporter things that we could probably work around. But again, budget is awesome in this one. If you guys are really interested in budget, awesome. But anyway, let's get into game number 2, and let's just see what else it can do. Game number 2 is against Dragon Dorado, playing a grass colorless deck. And, yeah, I'm interested to see what he plays here. This could be another version of the Decidueye deck. That has definitely been roaming the TCGO for a while right now. It could be anything, though. It could be Bildria Mega. It could be Vespiquen. We're just going to have to wait until my good old opponent loads in, and that's when we'll figure out what he's playing. Now, I do see the Trevenant sleeves, so it really does lead me to believe that it's going to be Trevenant Decidueye, which I don't know if this deck can handle. Now, I know Taurus does not mind having damage counters, so that could be our benefit. But we're not going to start with a single Pokemon, just like last game. But we do see our first Fairy Garden, so they're in the deck. Just they don't pop up all that often. There's only 2 of them, so I guess that is the case there. We have no Pokemon again. We have an Oranguru Tauros start. We'll be leading Tauros, and we'll be playing the Oranguru. Now I gotta keep an eye on this, because if this is Decidueye Trevenant, we're going to have a problem, because the Oranguru is actually going to be a problem. They'll bring it up and leave it in the active position. But Taurus, it's not. It's an oddish item block. Huh. Now, who is your partner? Could it be the Tauros? I don't know. That would actually be quite hilarious that we played the Taurus Vileplume that we just so happened to have made last video. Yeah. But my opponent did go for a Sycamore. What did you get rid of? What did you get? Oh, is that a Beedrill? No, it's Laurentiis Gx. Ooh, I have not seen this yet, so this will be kind of interesting to see. My opponent did give up a Timer Ball, has an N, Sycamore, all those kind of good cards. Does drop a Grass Energy onto the Fomantis in the back. And my opponent is going to end his turn. So we gotta go with the good old Trainer's Mail here. I gotta pick up this good old Sycamore. And I'm gonna probably have to ditch a lot of the cards that are in my hand. I'm gonna go for a town map, see what is prized. It's gonna be Fairy Energy, Ultra Ball, Gumshoos, Sycamore, N, and a Fairy Energy. So it is very easy for me to ditch the majority of these cards in hopes of getting a double colorless energy, and I can take prize 1 right off the turn. We are going to get a double colorless energy, which is very nice. Thank you very much for that. I am going to drop my Fairy Garden. I do believe it's not going to last very long, but I can go for a nice Horn Attack and pick up my first prize of the game, and that is going to be... That's going to be a Sycamore, I think. I'm going to grab the Sycamore. If there was a VS Seeker, I would have just grabbed it, because I needed the Lysander. My opponent does bring up the Fomantis, so I'm a little scared. But we can easily try and get rid of this. My opponent is into Laurentiis Gx mode now, so my opponent is going to be able to get 40... Ooh, he goes for my Oranguru here. 120 HP. I don't have a Fairy Energy on you, so I can't do much. But he's going to go for 40 damage on the Oranguru. And this is going to do what? Attach 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like. So the energy is going to go on to Laurentiis. Is that all you had? Nope, there was 2. There was 2. Awesome. So, how much energy do you have? Fomantis, we're going to go with the Escape Rope, which is going to force a switch on both sides here. And I really don't have any reason not to just... I can't Team Skullgrunt right now. I don't really need to play the supporters, because Kukui does not need to do any additional damage, so we're going to take out the Fomantis here. Bam, it's gone. And I'm going to grab a Fairy Energy, because in case my opponent does decide to play a VS Seeker and Lysander up my Oranguru again, I do want to respond to that if I can. Obviously, at this point, they're just going to go for a Solar Blade and knock it out, but that is a case I don't want to lead to. My opponent is going to be able to grab another Fomantis. He's going to play that as well. And my opponent is in... Whoa, this is a lot of energy onto the... Chlorophyll Scythe is going to take out my Tauros. I'm left with an Oranguru. I'm left with an Oranguru. Well, I got another Oranguru. Beautiful. Beautiful, I say. I'm in a pretty big pickle. I'm actually thinking of using this. Can my Oranguru take this out? I do 20, 40, 60, 80. 8 and 6 is 140, so no, I cannot take you out. But it is something better than what I've got. I might just play the Lily, try and get one additional card. It's going to be a Pokemon Center Lady, and it's not going to be something I need. Alright, so my opponent is going to be able to just eat my Oranguru away. And if my opponent does get a Lysander, I'm going to lose my other Oranguru. It does have the Laurentiis Gx in the back now. Kind of intimidated here. This is a really cool little deck. I really like Laurentiis Gx, and it's really, really quick. We see the Golden Ultra Ball in all its full art glory! And my opponent is going to be able to grab whatever Pokemon they want. It's going to be a Shaman. First time we're going to see the Shaman from my opponent's side. And they're going to be able to re-establish 6 cards in their hand. This is really good for my opponent, not good for me. But this is a really cool deck, and we're going to be showcasing Laurentiis Gx as well in the coming weeks once we get a chance to actually see a little bit more and play around it. I like it. I think it's going to be a fantastic card, especially after seeing how Flower Supply works. Very, very good card. Very, very, very good card. Having Forest of Giant Plants make it actually go up a little bit. Like, turn 1, you can go for it. And we are going to see the Lysander. We are unfortunately going to lose our Oranguru. I could have stalled out a little bit longer and got my Tauros or my Gumshoos or whatever, but unfortunately I didn't. And it is going to cost me. It is going to cost me. We have a Bursting Balloon, which we are going to put onto our Oranguru because it's a little bit of damage. But I am going to have to Sycamore at this point because I need another Pokemon, and I don't have anything. I'm not going to get any! You can only hit me for 120 damage now, so Tauros is actually a fantastic card to have. We are going to go for the good old Fairy Garden switch, and we're going to put our Double Colorless Energy down onto the Tauros. Let's go for an Ultra Ball and potentially get another Pokemon. Let's do that. Let's get a Yungoos, so that in case Gumshoos does come alive, we can use it. There we go. I can go for an Instruct. I can get 2 more cards. Very nice. It's going to be a Max Elixir, which we could use and benefit from, but we're actually not going to hit anything, so it's a dead card for us. But we are going to pass the turn, hoping that our opponent does get a little bit of damage on the Oranguru, but we are unfortunately not going to get enough damage onto the Tauros, which is really what we want. My opponent cannot... I don't think you can take me out right now. Here's the downside to Laurentiis right now is your damage supply. You can only hit us for 120 max. But it can really, really put some pressure on your opponent. We see our opponent does get an Olympia, which is actually a really good card in that deck because it lets you switch out and it lets you heal as well. Now my opponent really does not want to hit me, but at the same point they're not afraid to hit me. He is going to hit me though. 120 damage coming my way, and my Oranguru is going to go down. Does take 60 from the Bursting Balloon, so I'm good with that. And we are going to be able to go into our Mad Bull. Not that it's going to matter, because my opponent's going to have another one in the back ready to go. Actually, we can set up a Yungoos here. We can only go for the Horn attack right now. It is going to hit him for another 60. It's not going to take you out on the turn I was hoping. The downside to Tauros is a player who knows the card is going to be doing everything in their power to not hit your Tauros. So they're going to go for Lysanders or anything like that to try and avoid having to attack it. And unfortunately, in this case, we are losing that trade. My opponent is getting any opportunity he needs to right now get like a VS Seeker, potentially getting the Lysander, take out my... he's going to go for a Float Stone. Goes probably for the Shaman if he does play it. But he'll be able to go for my Yungoos, which will drop him down to 1 prize. And at that point, I can't play Yungoos because it's too easy to take me out. And 2 of my Gumshoos, or just 1 of my Gumshoos is locked. We see the Fomantis on my opponent's side, and he's going to be able to play that one as well. So that'll be all 4 Fomantis out. We did get 2 early prizes, but this isn't looking very good for us, guys. Laurentiis does do enough damage where I cannot take 2 hits. So once 1 goes down, that will be the end of my Tauros. Because I'll take the damage, I'll be able to retaliate, take out the Fomantis, or sorry, the Laurentiis, which will put me down to 2 prizes, which is a close game. But my opponent will be able to take me out with this fellow Laurentiis in the back. unfortunately. My opponent does play the Lugia EX, and that is really good, actually, because your opponent could be playing huge energy, and that is a great way to scale your damage. Because good old Laurentiis can go for a Flower Shop and put all that energy onto the Lugia in the back. Now my opponent can do whatever they want to do here. They're actually just going to retreat out and potentially go for a Flower Supply, which is going to get that energy back and potentially put it on the Lugia or the new Laurentiis. This is fine. And our Mad Bull, unfortunately, will not do enough. They actually just passed the turn. We are going to be able to drop this fairy energy down. Go for a nice N. Drop our opponent down to 2 cards. I'm going to be able to go for another Bursting Balloon onto the Tauros. And I don't want to go for an Ultra Ball onto the Gumshoos, just because I would have no cards left in hand. Gumshoos is at the top, which means we could have drawn it, but we're not going to. And in this case, I am just going to go for the nice Horn Attack. It's all I can do. It's going to be 60 damage onto the next Laurentiis. But we do have a Lysander in the back, so we can start kind of damaging the target that he wants to hit. It just depends on what he puts. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to put in here. My opponent's deck is very scary. And now that I see it, it's very quick to set up. Laurentiis can get 3 energy turn 1 if they wanted to, by getting 1 energy down, going for the Leaf Supply, having an Ultra Ball to 2 grass energy. Very, very easy to set this guy up. And again, if you really need to, you can go for the Chlorophyll Scythe. Chloris Scythe, I mean. This attack does 50 damage times the number of grass energy attached to this Pokemon. It's a scary Pokemon. Very, very scary. We are going to see an N come through. My opponent does not want the hand that he has. We're going to get 4 additional cards, getting 2 Via Seekers now, which is really good for us. But again, we're in a bit of a bind. Since my opponent has not attacked my Tauros is actually finally going to take some damage. Goes for this Flower Supply onto the Laurentiis in the back. Now, I can take this guy out and force him to go for another Flower Supply, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I don't care what we have this one in the front. I'm going to just drop my my Fairy Energy here. We're going to go for that good old Lysander. And I'm going to pull up this guy so we can get rid of it. If I can stall you out a turn, I'm going to. 4, 8, 12 is 120. It'll be just enough to really take it out. It's not worth it, but we are going to have to do it. This will take out your Laurentiis. I'm going to get my Gumshoos, and I'm going to get myself an N. Yeah, let's go for the N. I have Via Seekers, so I can do damage to the Shaman if I need to. But my opponent is going to have to hit me with another Flower Supply in order to get back in this game. He actually just gives us the victory. I don't know why. I would have had to do a few things to get that game set up. My opponent had the win there, I think. I don't know. I don't know if I could say that or not. Yeah, that is going to be it. I don't know what to say. I'm a little speechless. I was not expecting to win that match. I thought he was going to win that for sure. In all honesty, though, my opponent should have won it. I did get my GX attack off just at the right time. And my opponent could not hit my Tauros, because if he did, it was just take out his Pokemon. But if he had done damage earlier, he may have seen that if he had taken the damage onto it, he would have just been able to dwindle me down, no problem. I don't know, maybe it's just something I'm overlooking. As a deck, Gumshoos has a few flaws, being that I have no way to really keep my flow going. Now that could be due to the fact that I don't have the Shaman, and I am running the Oranguru instead, but being a fairy box, it's not exactly a fairy box if you're not running at least 3 to 4 fairy gardens. So if you guys are going to be doing this one, please head up. That's one thing that maybe I would run. Maybe you could cut back the energy cost, maybe 1 or 2, considering most of your stuff that you're going to be attacking with only really needs double colorless energy. So you could probably cut a fairy energy or 2 there, add in those fairy gardens, and you are going to see a lot more retreat. And you may be even able to cut down like on the escape ropes and the switches, and add in a lot more utility. Again, that is my opinion, and I think Gavin's list is very, very good, and it's a lot of fun. But with that though, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are brand new here, please subscribe. It means the world to me that you guys come out and watch my videos on the regular. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. I should be bringing either Decidui or Golduck, whichever one I can make first. Like I said, I'm in a bit of a tight jam in terms of recording time, so whatever comes first is what I'll be making. But with that though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. But until then, time out.